Good morning, friends. It's Julie, and today I'd like to talk to you about goals for the next coming year for my reselling business. I have a postcard selling business online, mostly eBay, and also a couple of vendor booths downtown Billings. And I've been thinking about what I'm going to do this next year, kind of what's I've been doing, changing up what I've been doing the last couple years. And a year and a half ago, I did a video about what it was like after 1.5 years of reselling postcards. I was going to do a 2-year mark, but this is going to serve for that too. So let's get going. I'm headed to town to my booth, and let's... All right, I'm in town. I'm at Marketplace. So since I'm at Marketplace, let's talk about the booth. Now, this year I went from 2 large booths to 1 large and 2 small. I did a video about that, about my switchover. And, you know, it's harder to be in the antique vintage booth business right now because people are not buying as much extra stuff. They're more needing to pay for gas and groceries more because everything's more expensive. And of course, people are still spending, but not as much. I'm still making a profit, but not as much as I did like a year ago at this time. A year ago, I was doing at least 3 times my rent, and which is the minimum of what I like to do. Now I'm doing about 2.5. I guess I don't put a lot of work into it. One day a week I come to town to do errands and stuff, and it is a good thing to get me out of my house. Otherwise, I'm at home most of the time. And it's a place to put things that I get maybe in lots and other things that I know I can flip quickly for a profit. Now, the other thing is that the reason why I downsized one of my booths was that I didn't want to do as much furniture stuff. And that's still true, because yes, I can get people to help me move things, but there's still sometimes where I just, do it myself. And it's not good having RA and other stuff to move furniture because it really just wipes me out. So I'm actually considering if one more of those little booths open up that are right next to me, I might give up my front booth. It is such a good location that it's really hard to give it up. It's probably one of the closest ones to the cash registers. So it's a bit more secure for having things than it would be on another part of the mall. So I'd like to downsize again. One of the things that's been going through my mind is that I don't want my home to have storage anymore. I did pick up a storage area in the mall that I can just shuffle things around, stick it in the back. Okay, so that is my goal for the booth, is to downsize again, get things out of my home, because I do take up more room than postcards and ephemera. And I am actually not doing as much ephemera selling at the booth, even though people do buy it. They come along here and there and buy some, but that's not usually what is the big sellers. More. Another thing about the booth is that it costs a lot more money per month to work, because I have the rent. Rent is a lot higher than it is to have a storefront on eBay. So let's go in. I have a few things to add, not a whole lot, and I think I'm going to rearrange Christmas into my front booth now, because it is almost the end of October and we're supposed to get our first snow tonight. Let's get going. Oops. This is what's happening outside my kitchen window today. Happy Christmas from Montana. Alright, so I'm at home now. It's the next day. The reason why I went out yesterday, a big reason, was because the snow is coming. So let's get to the big one, the postcard reselling, and what I'd like to see for it for next year. And as you know, I've switched up my model to listing higher price postcards than the average. And when I thought about it later after I announced it, one of the big reasons I think that I didn't realize at the time was because I was kind of getting bored listing the same ones over and over and over again, and knowing that they only would get like $4 or $5 or something. So yeah, okay, that was my heater going off. I have to stay interested in what I'm doing, and I'm the type of person who likes to, who once it gets boring and you're doing the same thing over and over, I'm done. So I don't want to be done with postcard selling. I need to do things to make it more interesting for me. So then one of the things that's more interesting is to sell less common postcards, which also require a higher price. So maybe my model is more of list postcards that don't make me bored. Or so I am also listing postcards that are under the amount of $10, which I said was going to be like my minimum. Of course, there's always exceptions, but I've been listing other ones because I want to have them in my shop, or I like them, or there's some reason. So it's not all of them are $10. A lot of them still aren't, but I'm not listing the common ones. So that is the main thing, is that I'm focusing on the less common postcards, the ones that keep me interested in it. I have about 8,500 listings right now, and I'm doing okay. Maybe I'm doing like $40-50 a day, but I haven't been listing all summer, so I think that's doing okay. So that means that the postcards that I have up for sale are ones that people are interested in, and for the long haul, postcard is a long tail game. We all know this. My goal is to get up to, I'd like to get to 1,500 this next year, listed inventory. So that will mean that I am going to be utilizing all of my shelving that I put in, including the house box and all that stuff. I am really going to focus in on things that can go through my scanner, and I don't have to take a photo of it, and that it's mostly going to fit in my postcard boxes, so they can just go along with all of my inventory. Funny thing is, when I lose an item, when I can't find it, it's not a postcard, it's a book or something. There is 2 of them that I lost. One was a magazine and one was a book. You'd think it'd be easy to find a book. I don't know where it went. So for some reason, if it's not in a postcard box, I can't track it. I know I put, like, it's on this shelf or it's in this box, but for some reason, if it's not in a postcard box, and in my order that I do, my organizing method, which I did a video on, and I'll link it. I'll link it for you. I won't lick it. And if it's not there, then I can't find it. So I'm just going to stick with something, just go on this track that I've got marked out and do that. I do have some people that are interested in buying some bulk ephemera that I'm not going to list. And I might be posting more on the Facebook group if there's more interest, if I can find more. And another thing is sales. So along with that 1,500, if I'm listing, my goal is going to be $100 a day. And this might not sound a lot to you, but this is not, I am not in it for just the money. Of course, yeah, I wouldn't be selling if I didn't get any money for it. But obviously, if I needed to get money to live on, I wouldn't be selling postcards. Just postcards and stuff. I'd be probably doing something else. So my goal is to get to $100 a day and consistently, and then we'll take it from there. I was up to that goal before in the spring, but then I stopped listing because of all the stuff going on. So I want to get back up to that point and possibly surpass that. So I'm not going to make another goal, say $200 a day or something, until I get back to the $100 a day. Small goals, one at a time. Reach this first. So I actually have, since this is the end of October right now, I have a little bit of a grace period to get my 2024 off to a good start. I have 2 months to get up to help me to accelerate into my goal. So it's like 14 months. I'm making this goal now because when it gets to the holidays, you got all this other stuff going on in your mind, and you may not be thinking about goals. So now is a good time to think about it before the holidays hit. So I'd like to hear what your goals are too. Are you selling postcards or other things? Ephemera? And what methods do you use? Do you use eBay, other online sites? Do you have a booth as well? I have been thinking about this, and I'm trying to make a series or a couple of videos about this room that my stash, because part of it is that I think I could easily cross the line into hoarding. because I love to source. I like to source. It's easier to source faster than I can list, especially with the hard goods in my booth. That's why I think having a limit on that, on my space, would be good. Because the reason I opened up my second large space was to get rid of more stuff. And then, of course, I had to buy more stuff to fill up that space. There are very few things that I hold sentimental anymore, and which is ironic because I hold a lot of stuff. But I think it's time, next year I turn 50, and it's time to get and sort through the first half of my life and get rid of a lot of those things. So I think about that in relation to reselling, because it would be easy as a reseller to cross that line and just to keep collecting, and because you have an excuse to collect things because you're going to sell it sometime, right? But I need to go back to, I wanted to everything back, I think a year or two ago, I wanted everything to fit in this one room. So I need to go back to that. I know, yes, I have a storage area now in the shop, but I think that's going to be a temporary solution, just until I can get a handle on all of this stuff. And by next year, I want to have just this room with inventory, death pile or not, stockpile, just this room for both my postcard business online and for booth. And it also serves as my craft area, my craft room, because this is my one room. So I want to have this one room to transform into that, which is going to make some hard decisions about what I'm keeping, and I might be just getting rid of a lot. So stay tuned for that too, if you'd like to see that as well. So those are my big goals for the next coming year. Let me know how you're doing and what your goals are, if you make goals. And I hope you have a joyful day. Goodbye.